Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. In this segment, wanting to talk to all the young lovers out there who are so optimistic. They think they've got the original love, the lasting love, the love that cannot be denied. The love that will transcend decades and generations. Sure, everybody else is getting divorced. Everybody else is having custody battles. Everybody else is involved in some kind of domestic violence, but not us. That'll never happen to us, because we're different. And of course, they all find out the hard way. 4 out of 5 people who get married young get divorced. That's 80%. And just like people who go to Vegas and think they're going to win the progressive jackpot, all of these people believe that it won't happen to them. Oh, no. They'll be the winners and everybody else is going to be the losers. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's 1-800-5800-866. Jay on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing, Tom?
I'm okay, Jay.
Tom, I'm calling now to get your advice because I really respect the advice you give guys, and I really respect the fact that you are a self-made man. So it's something I find very reputable about yourself. Just to give you a little bit of information about myself, I'm 27 years old. I have been smart along the lines that I have no children and I've never been married. Currently, I'm still working on my education, and, you know, by your standards, I've been in college for quite a long time. Coming straight out of high school, I enrolled myself into college, and I've been there ever since. My only problem is I come from very humble beginnings where most of the time I've had to work minimum 40-hour jobs a week in order to be able to support myself and support paying college and being able to afford to go to college. And so what's happened is it's really cut back on the time that I have allowed to be able to enroll in classes and the time I have to study. So most of the time I find myself only taking half of the workload I would like to take. And in some situations, certain classes that I would need, I wouldn't be able to take because it would conflict with my work schedule. I've managed to pick up 2 small degrees, but they're not very efficient degrees by no means. It's a degree in liberal studies and a degree in psychology. But we both fully know well that those degrees don't really have much demand. The true degree that I'm going after is my engineering degree. However, I'm looking about another 3 years to finish. My problem is I would want to hear what you would recommend to me as far as what I should do from this point on.
Well, are you maxed out on student loans, grants, scholarships, all of that?
I've actually been very blessed because I've paid as I've went, so I've made sure not to incur any debt. Right. I did just take one small loan for $2,000, which I'm working on paying back now.
Is that a student loan?
Right, just a small one for 1 year.
Right, but it's not. You didn't get a bank loan or something. It's a student loan.
It's a student loan, yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the majority of the scholarships that I applied for, denied, and every time that I have been eligible, I have won. But they usually, the way it's set up now, they do the scholarships based on what financial needs you have.
Right.
Because I show a pretty decent living because I've, made sure to not just stay complacent. I've also moved up in salary since I started working, which is, I think, what anybody's goal should be. And I make a decent, comfortable living. I make about $55,000 a year.
Yeah.
But I know that I have the potential to make much more. My actual goal in life would be to at least hit a 6-figure salary by the time I was 30 years old.
Right. Do you think you can do it?
Where I'm at now, there's not that much potential for growth.
But if you got a degree, could you do it? Well, I mean, what do you want to get a degree in ultimately?
Engineering.
And how are your grades? You doing well?
I've always been an above-average student. I've always held at least a 3.5 GPA. Oh. Just right about now, I'm starting to enter the much harder upper-level courses. For example, the calculus level 3, the higher engineering physics, classes of that nature which require more work and more effort.
Well, you might have to cut back on your work hours a little bit, and you might have to take out a loan, which most people do.
And here's another situation, though, that's kind of got me a little bit discouraged. Looking at the statistics, most people, when they come out working as engineers, come out making about $40,000. So that means I would have to take roughly about a $15,000 pay cut per year.
Well, you know what? That is worth doing, and I'll tell you why. When I started in this business, you know what I got my first regular job? Zero.
I think you got,
Zero. My first job in this business, I worked with a guy who put me on the air, let me develop some voices and characters and things like that. He got all the benefits of it, and I got paid zero. Ultimately, he would take me out to lunch or dinner or breakfast once in a while. And at some point, we finally did a stand-up comedy act together, and we made a lot of money doing that. But that was separate from the radio job I had with him. But the point is, I was making what I thought was good money, $30,000 a year. I thought I was making good money. I went from $30,000 a year to zero. But it paid off. Look where I am now.
Right. And I guess what I feel right now at this point in my life, I'm kind of at a crossroads. You know, I would like to finish what I started, but at the same time, I feel that perhaps, you know, a lot of people that I look around, and it's funny, a lot of people have the misconception of believing because they have a degree in college that they're guaranteed success, which is, it's not even, it just gets you through the door.
You're very wise already to be saying that, and that is absolutely true. Having a degree is not enough. I've done what I've done without a degree. You have to show what value you have to a company.
And I mean, I look at a lot of these self-made millionaires and billionaires like yourself, and most of these people do not have college degrees, and I feel that, you know...
Yeah, but look, if you read the book The Millionaire Next Door, you'll understand this a lot better. Okay, so you understand this a lot better. Those of us who don't have college degrees must work harder than everybody. We must take more risks than everybody. This is why I, for example, could not have children. Because it's not fair to a child to constantly be rolling the dice or taking jobs that pay zero.
You're absolutely right.
So you see, when you drop out of college, you have to work that much harder. As hard as you think you work now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
And so,
and you'll never be an engineer without an engineering degree.
Exactly.
Write it down.
I know that. That's 100% true. And so what I've also considered is possibly going into business for myself, you know.
Do you know anything about that?
I have some experience. My father was in business for himself for about 15 years.
Your father has experience.
He has experience, so I always feel that I can go to him for advice. There's plenty of books out there.
Is that what you want to do?
Ultimately, with the degree or without the degree, Tom, I would want to be my own man. I would want to.
Right, but there's a difference between having an engineering firm and selling widgets.
True. Most likely, if I were to start a business, I'd start up in something that I'm passionate about.
Like what?
Working on cars, for example. I do a lot of custom work out of my house. I have a lot of friends of friends and just word of mouth that bring business to me. And, you know, anything from customizing to restoration. So,
how much money do you think is really in that?
You know, I mean, it's such a cutthroat business because you see custom shops opening all the time. But then you look at guys like Boyd Coddington. You know. Yeah,
but for every one of him, how many...
for every one success...
How many chop shops are down on Washington Boulevard? Hello.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Let's be realistic. Engineering is a lot less competition.
Right. You're absolutely
because
right
it requires a degree. Don't put yourself into a position where there's 8 million of you.
Okay.
Be one of 3,000 or 300. Do you know when I started working towards being who I am today... It was my belief that there were about 8 million disc jockeys and about 24 good radio talk show hosts in the country. What do you think I chose? Well, you're seeing what I chose.
Right.
It's supply and demand. You want to be doing something with a high what's called a high barrier to entry. Getting a degree is more work than a lot of people think it's worth. When you have one, you have an advantage over someone who doesn't. Not anybody can set up an engineering firm. Anybody can open up a detail shop or a body shop or a customizing shop. Anybody.
Yeah, Tom, you really made a good point there. That's something I didn't think about. That's a very excellent point.
In fact, they can set it up right next door to yours.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Your own employees can go into business against you across the street, learning what you taught them.
Yeah, I can't agree. I can't argue with you on there.
Be an engineer.
So go ahead and stick it through, and then, you know, I see that in the long run it does pay off. Even though I take this short pay cut, you know, it's just a little hard to take it in the beginning.
That's right.
But I guess in the long run, like, you know, it's clear what you had to do, and in the long run, it really paid off well for you.
Look at the long-term benefits.
Tom Leykis.
Come on.
1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
How are you today?
Do you care?
Yes, I do, because I don't want you to rip me a new one because I don't agree with you on what you say.
The Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Laura on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. I'm basically calling because I wanted to talk about the subject that you think about people having great or people not having great marriages, that you can't have them, you know, if you're young or a certain age, you can only have great marriages. And I don't
They are likely to... Well, I know you don't think it's true, but the statistics don't lie.
Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter what statistics have.
Well, yeah, actually it does.
Well, the reason why I think it doesn't matter is
because you're a woman and you're emotional and math isn't that interesting to you and you don't really understand statistics.
No. The fact is that there are, in this day and age, a lot of people are just living for the moment. They're not looking at what's going to give them a great future. They're not looking about, you know, what kind of person is
Getting married does not guarantee you a great future.
Getting what?
Getting married does not guarantee anyone a great future.
Oh, and I'm not talking just about marriages. I'm talking about just overall relationships. Marriages also, I mean, a lot of people get married too young. I do stick with you on that. But even if you know what you need and you know what you're looking for and you have... But
the thing is, you don't know. You're 20 years old. You don't know today what you will know in 5 to 10 years.
But
you don't.
Tom, just like you use your common sense all the time, it's very obvious when there's a bad person in your life or...
No, it is not. It is not obvious.
Yes,
because if it was so obvious, 80% of people your age who get married wouldn't get divorced.
80% of people are, a lot of percent of people are very stupid. And that's
not my point. 80%, they all think they know as well as you do. They all think they're smart. They all think they have the one true love. They all think they've got the right person. 100% of them believe that. They all believe it. And 80% of them are wrong.
You're coming on really strong. I'm just trying to...
I'm just telling you the truth.
No, I know, and I'm telling you what you're not saying the truth. You're just giving me your opinion.
No, I'm telling you what the statistics are. It is true. I think 100% of the people out there who are 18, 19, 20 think they know better, think they have the true love.
A lot of people...
Everybody else is cynical, but not them. They have the best person in the world, the best relationship. They're going to work the hardest. They all say the same thing.
No, Tom,
they all say what you're saying.
Person in the world. There is no such thing as that.
Well, the best person for you.
No, there's not. There's not. There is great people and people that you can, be compatible with.
Why wouldn't you be with the best person for you?
You can try, and you can get there.
Yeah, but the point is, you met this guy at, 16? And how many people did you look at before you chose him? How would you know if you met the best person? You've hardly met anybody.
It isn't. That's what the fact is. A lot of people go out and they have sex with all kinds of people, and they do.
This isn't about sex. It's about maturity.
Exactly.
And you, I don't care what you say. At 16, you were not mature enough to know who the man of your dreams is. You were not.
But it's really obvious. Like a lot of the time.
No, it isn't.
Listen,
it's obvious to you in your immature state to believe that. It's obvious. It's obvious to everybody.
You don't even listen. A lot of times people call in and they want your opinion or your advice or whatever, which is fine. But, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, you're telling them common sense things, Tom.
Right.
Common sense that, anybody would know.
Well, you think that, but if anybody knew it, the divorce rate wouldn't be as high as it is.
Yeah, and the only reason why I started listening to your program 1 week ago. And only because my friend Ray listens to your program. He's been listening for a long time. All of a sudden, his things that he was doing was just changing. He was towards girls, towards people, his mind was just like just stupid. And I was like, what's going on with you? What's different? You know, why are you acting like that? Oh, you know, it's all because of Tom Leykis or whatever. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. So I tried to listen to your station to think of all the reasons why he shouldn't be listening to your stations, and I found a lot.
Really?
I called last
Such
week.
as?
I couldn't get through.
Such as?
I called for one reason was also about you saying that girls can't have guy friends, or that it's more. That you can't have a guy friend.
Well, because it's not a friendship. It's based on a false premise.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
How could you say that if I have a lot of guy friends and have a really successful relationship?
Any one of them would sleep with you.
And maybe they would. Maybe they would.
Well, it's based on a false premise. Let me give you an analogy here, dear.
Okay.
Let's say you won the lottery and you won $150 million.
Okay. Which, by might I say, money is nothing, but keep going.
Yeah, money is nothing to people who don't have any, of course. Okay, so you win $150 million. Okay. And all of a sudden, you've got plenty of new friends.
Great. I have great friends, and I have a lot of
No, but now you've got new friends.
Friends that are just out to get my money.
What do you think about that? Is that friendship?
No.
All right. So there you are. You've got a vagina. And you've got all these male friends out there who, if you ask them, they want to get their hands on it. Do you think that's friendship?
No. A lot of these friends I've had since I was very young.
Again, these are guys who don't know how to close the deal. I'll close it right now. I'll call. You give me the name of any friend and his phone number, and I will call him right now, and I will tell him you want to have sex with him, and I guarantee you he'll say yes.
Of course, they're males. They have a penis or whatever.
No, but dear.
I do have friends that, you know, I have girlfriends, I have guy friends.
The guy friends want to have sex with you.
No, some of them aren't attracted to me.
Let's call them right now. How many of them would say no?
I'm not going to give you their number, but...
Yeah, I know you're not, because you know I'm right.
No, you're not.
Every one of them would have sex with you.
You know what my
Every one, because they're men.
Yeah, they're men. They're very disgusting.
Every one of them would have sex with you.
We've asked...
By the way, the guys in the control room, they would have sex with you. They can't even see what you look like.
Who?
The guys in the control room right here at the radio station. They don't even know what you look like, and they will come over and do you tonight.
Those are dirty men, Tom.
No, that is what men are, dear. Don't kid yourself.
No, a lot of them are dirty. Yeah, well, girls are like that too. What do you think girls think about sex?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they don't, but women use sex as a bargaining chip.
How do you know that?
Because I've been around the block and back, dear.
If I used the sex as a bargaining tip, I wouldn't be in the relationship.
Oh, yes, I know. The relationship of a lifetime with the one true love. The one that will last all eternity. Hang on a second here. Hey, Lance, what did you want to say to Laura?
Hi, Lance.
She's so wrong because she's only 20 years old, so she thinks she knows everything.
I don't think I know everything, but I do know what I have.
Like Tom just told you. Any one of those guys that do you, you said yes because they're male. And exactly, that answers his point. You're only 20 years old. Wait till you hit 25. You know, I got married way too young. I talked to Tom about it plenty of times. And your guy friend, he changed. You know why? Because Tom opened his eyes to what is getting laid. He totally changed. Oh, so he can't close the deal yet. So maybe he's not a real Tom student yet. So he's still learning.
He's a guy, okay? He goes out with his girlfriends or whatever, does whatever. But, yeah, his attitude was, it's not a good, I mean, the way that Tom, I want to also say to that guy that called in that's married, that's 23, very good. I mean, if he has the right attitude.
Oh, yeah, very good.
But if you put in his head, you're going
to say to him, paper or plastic?
Exactly.
Why?
He's such a...
Because he's never going to finish school. He's going to end up throwing it all aside and repairing cars or doing something else.
Well, I mean, that depends on him. Whatever he wants to do.
But that's not what he wants to do. He wants to be a biologist.
Then he should go for it.
But guess what? It's too difficult, and eventually, most cases, these guys give up.
Because he's married, it's too difficult?
Married and has a kid, and he's 23 years old. Yes. He's made life unnecessarily difficult on himself.
It's going to be very difficult. Yeah, I mean, you got to think about
difficult and likely to fail. He made himself likely to fail.
Like I said, Tom, there's a lot of things that you can do to make your life easier and be successful and do things the right way. Maybe he shouldn't have got married that young, but he could have stayed with that same woman.
He shouldn't have knocked anybody up. He shouldn't have knocked anybody up.
What did she just say?
But what you're saying is...
married that young. Exactly. The statistics say 80% if you get married.
You guys don't listen. That's why you think you know everything.
No, we don't. Certainly don't want to hear from you.
Because I got married that young, too, and I'm 34 years old now, and I'm starting my own surf for a defense contractor company full-time.
And how is your marriage?
I know about putting my dreams up on a shelf because I got married way too young and my life changed because of it. But then I got my balls back, and I got divorced, and I moved to California and started my life all over.
So your guys are giving advice to people when, Tom, you've been divorced like how many times?
Oh, I'm not giving advice to people on how to stay married, dear. In fact, I've learned by being married that getting married is not the answer to anything.
Especially that young. Between 20 and 30.
Being in relationships delayed the development of my career by several years. I was an idiot.
You had a problem.
By the way, just like you don't know what you're doing, I learned the hard way. And I'm trying to save these guys that trouble. I'm telling them about the mistakes I made so they don't make those mistakes.
That's great, but for the ones
you're making the exact same mistake, and you're very arrogant about it. And what I'm enjoying about this is you're going to get your comeuppance because you're going to learn about it the hard way.
You don't know who my boyfriend is.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't care if your boyfriend is Jesus Christ. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
How can she argue with statistics?
What?
How can you argue with statistics?
What about it?
People had to come
because she's a chick and she doesn't understand math.
Okay, so answer is, just don't get married. That's the answer?
No, statistics are from a survey.
You guys don't have beliefs to go on. You have no morals, okay?
Oh, we have no morals, too.
Sitting with chicks is what to do right at 5K. Go out.
This from the woman who's fornicating with her boyfriend. He's going to tell us about morals.
Okay, go out and get yourself AIDS and diseases that happen when you guys have sex with
go out and get AIDS, right. And by the way, I might add, dear, I'll bet you're not a virgin, are you? Miss Morality. Miss lecturing. There, we know you have had sex with the guy. Please, don't be stupid.
I'm not going to talk to you about my personal life.
You're anonymous, dear. You can tell us.
Everybody that's listening, this is why you can't. Your opinion is not right, Tom.
Oh, yes, I know. I'm all wrong. I don't know. Oh, I should know that I'm wrong. Yes.
Yeah.
And you, of course, had 20 who had the same boyfriend since you were 16, and you know everything. You're right, and I'm wrong. I know.
I'm not saying I'm right, Tom, but I'm also
you are saying you're right. You are saying you're right. Lance, thank you. Let me get Bob in here. Bob, what do you want to say to Laura?
Laura, you ignorant. Oh, yeah. You know what? I've heard, you know what?
Now with her filthy mouth,
How many successful
Now we see what kind of intellect we're dealing with here.
Bob, how many sexual
Have I used one obscenity during this call? One?
Hello, Bob?
Have I used one obscenity? Well, Bob's not talking to you right now. I'm talking to you. I'm asking you, have I used one obscenity during this call?
No.
Why is it necessary while you're on the air and it's illegal? Yeah, it's illegal.
So, throw me off the line.
All right, I will.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
You guys are sick. Is this how you make your money?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that is so funny. You're really working hard, aren't you?
Yes.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show from Los Angeles at 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Stephanie. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Stephanie.
How are you?
Do you care?
I love you. Yes, I care.
I'm doing great.
Good. I'm glad. I just wanted to call in. That lady that was just on, she is why men cheat on women. Honest to God, she was such a nag that she was hurting my head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a great marriage.
Yeah, exactly.
So she browbeats the sense out of the guy she's ultimately going to marry, and finally he just goes and dumps her ass, and then she'll be calling here boo-hoo-hooing in a few years.
Well, then she'll be 250 pounds crying because she's so fat that she can't get somebody else.
Exactly right.
So, I just wanted to say thanks for everything. We just relocated to Seattle from St. Louis, and I found you, and I love you, and I turned my husband on to you. So,
thank you. Thank you for that, Stephanie.
Thanks for everything.
Appreciate the call. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. Tyler on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Tyler.
Well, I just want to call in and let you know that not all marriages, and I know you're saying about the exception to the rule, not all young marriages end in failure.
No one said all do. As I always like to say, if you get to the top of a 10-story building and jump off, you might survive. And some people do. There are people who probably can get up from a fall like that without a scratch. But most people go splat.
Yeah.
Well, so the fact that somebody survived, does that mean everybody should jump off a building?
No, and I agree with you on many points about that, but I feel that after the people have jumped, you know, it doesn't hurt to try to flap your arms a little bit and try to slow the impact.
I think it's just better not to jump at all.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with you, and I counsel a lot of my friends that, you know, have gotten married the same age as I did. You know, I don't really encourage it, you know, until, and the same rule as you use, until they're 25.
Right.
Because I can speak from experience. It's not easy.
No.
You know, there's a lot of things that you could have done different in your life, but it's a choice you have to make, and once you choose it, you have to stick with it. That's kind of the gist I'm saying is so many marriages that I see around me, and especially in the young age bracket, tend to have no conviction or determination to even make it work. The first fight they have, they're going off to their parents' house. And it's just kind of sad to see, but it takes a different type of conviction, and I just wish more young people, before they get married, would realize if they're the type of person that has that conviction or not.
I really believe the only way to prevent being one of those 80% is to delay it until you're older.
Oh, I don't encourage them before 25. It worked out for me, but I want just to kind of trump up what you said is about birth control. If it's not a hit or miss kind of deal, it's not tonight or the other night. You know, I have 2 kids and they were planned, and I'm only 26, and I know that's young to have 2 kids, but I wanted to be the cool dad, I guess.
Well, in reality, you don't have any choice, do you?
Well, I did choose to. We planned to have the kids when we did.
Yeah, but are they both after you got married?
Oh, yeah.
Why did you need to get married at 20?
Well, at the time, it seemed like a good idea. And in retrospect, it worked out.
Did you ever realize that the median age for men to get married for the first time now in America is 28? Not even 25. 28.
Yeah. I don't know. She was cute, blonde.
There's plenty of cute blondes out there with big boobs. Plenty of them.
I don't know. It worked out for me, but it just, you know, I understand it's so hard, but now I'm...
And even now, you're only 26. How many guys was she with before you?
None.
None. And you don't think once she hits 30 and her hormones start racing that she's going to wonder what she missed out on?
She may.
Yeah. And what do you think she might do?
That's where trust comes in.
Yeah, I know. Well, but you see, you have faith. That doesn't mean that the odds are good.
Yeah.
The odds are bad.
Yeah.
I've been with women like your wife.
Yeah.
Women who were never with anybody else but one guy, and suddenly, when they turn 30, suddenly they're horny continuously.
That's okay with me.
Yeah, but no, it's also okay with your next-door neighbor, the guy down the block, the guy she works with, the guy she used to work with, her high school sweethearts that she never got with, and then she sees them at the high school reunion when she's 28, 29.
Yeah. Well,
and all of it. Yeah, you'll love it. She'll want you, and she'll want you and other people.
Yeah, but do you know where's your girlfriend at right now?
What are you saying?
Well, do you know where your girlfriend's at? Or do you trust that she's not out with the guy doing the lawn?
I don't trust anybody.
You know, I guess if you're going to have...
I am one who would use whatever tactics are necessary, including spy software. Now that cell phones are there, you can't really monitor phone calls, but you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm an electronics expert.
I don't trust anybody. Anybody.
Yeah.
I've had my heart carved out more than once. I think I must have regrown a heart because it's been carved out so many times.
Well, not to switch subjects on you, but you're also saying that, young people, when they get married so young, they throw away their career.
They throw away their career, and they throw away the experiences of being young and carefree.
Well,
dating various people, traveling.
Fairly successful for my age.
Well, when you say fairly, what kind of business are you in?
I do theater and automation systems.
Uh-huh. And how much does that pay?
I take home about $160,000 a year.
That's pretty good money.
Yeah, you might want to check on your run code. I think they had a recall on it.
Actually, I got my screen replaced.
Oh, good. So you found out.
Yes, I did.
Good. No, but it's not easy. But
But why make life harder on yourself than you have to?
Different priorities, I guess.
Well, the number one priority is making life as easy as possible. The path of least resistance.
Well, I have a pretty easy life. I'm 26.
We'll see how easy it is. By the way, you've got kids. That can't make it any easier. And you have to support the family. And you have to spend time with your kids, which I would hope you do. But you have to do it. It's an obligation you have.
Every day.
Right.
I love to spend time with my kids, though. That's one of the biggest benefits of my marriage is that in keeping a healthy marriage relationship, I get
you
to
could have
spend
done
time
it. You could have done it 5 to 10 years later.
Well, but I injured my back a couple years ago, and it's progressively getting worse. 5 to 10 years, I wouldn't be able to teach my son how to play basketball.
I see. So when your back is that bad and your wife can't get enough sex from you and she's never been with another man before, where do you think she's going to go?
I didn't say my back was that bad. I said I couldn't play basketball, Tom.
Yeah. Tom, oh yeah, Leykis. Tom, Leykis.
I wouldn't know how to give dating tips to date your aunt or your cousin.
Good, because I don't need any.
Good place to cruise for Poon, the next family reunion.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show on 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Lynn. Hello.
Hello.
Is that a question or a statement?
It's a statement.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Do you care?
Of course I care.
Doing great.
I am so glad that you are talking about this because my husband and I actually celebrated our 1-year anniversary yesterday, and we've been together for 7 years. I met him when I was 16 and when he was 18, and we honestly have a really great relationship, and the thing that's made it work is that I let him have his guy time and do what he needs to do. And unfortunately, my so-called best friend and his best friend were introduced by us, and they are now getting married. And I told my husband, I was like, you need to talk him out of it. They're the same ages that we are, but I totally see it ending in divorce. Totally. Because she has got his balls in a jar next to her bed.
Yeah.
She will not let him go out with the guys. He is the partier of the group and the guys, and she had told him that he could not drink for 1 month because she didn't like it.
Oh, love it when they start putting down the ultimatums.
And he proposed 8 months into them being together. And I told my husband, I said, because she does not like him going to nudie bars, over dinner, over the weekend, I told him, you are going to take him to the best nudie bar with the girls that have the biggest boobs, and you are going to not tell her, and he's going to have the most amazing time in his life. Because that's all he gets.
Well, I think if you still need to go out and party, you are not ready for a relationship. Anybody who insists on going out to clubs or bars where available people hang out is not ready to get together.
The Tom Leykis Show.